Hi, Andrea. Thank you
Hey.
so much for agreeing to talk to me today. This is my second extraordinary talk with everyday people. And for those of you who are watching this, I met Andrea as a military spouse and we did some work together. She is a fantastic mother, she is a wife, and she is a successful business owner. She owns Bees, oh, I've forgotten the second word. She's Bees Clothing and Gifts. Sorry, there we go, I should know this.
We just call it these anyway most of the
Yeah,
time.
and like you, basically, you nail life. But as we've got to know each other, I know that like you girls, they've got different presenting needs with their, their health, and you carry them through such a lot. And obviously, you're so used to this military lifestyle of like cracking on alone when the husband's away and managing, and doing it all beautifully. So I just think you're the perfect example of how you can face adversity and continue on. And then recently it's come to like that. Obviously, you've had your own like journey with poor health. So I just wanted to. I don't know if it's worth just starting with what happened to you, and then maybe in the future, like coming back and discussing, like the parenting side of it,
Yeah,
because there's just so much that you have got to kind of teach us. So
yeah,
tell us a little bit more about what happened to you.
yeah. I've kind of had to say about my youngest daughter. She's got a rare syndrome called Cornelia-de-Lange, and it was during her genetic testing that her doctor said to us, actually, it's not about her today, it's about you. And we've discovered that you carry the BRCA2 gene mutation, which is the breast cancer, one of the breast cancer mutations. Massive shock because I hadn't gone in there prepared to hear anything about me. I'd gone in there prepared to find out what the next steps were for her. So that was a bit of a blow. Here's some literature, have a read. We'll get in touch next week. And, me and my husband just looked at each other like, what the heck kind of thing, and, and he was like, well, what is it? And I'm like, Angelina Jolie, that's the only way I could kind of.
Is it Angela? Was this what Angelina Jolie
Yeah,
had?
yeah. So that was the only way that I could really sort of say to him, that's the only knowledge I had of it, but he had an upcoming tour, and it was all like, what do I do? What do you do? So, obviously did a bit of research. I spoke to the genetic counsellor the week after, and she said, here are your options really. You've got, because I didn't actually have any family history, or not that I knew of, because I'm not very close to family. It was very much of like, what do you want to do? You can either, your risk is about 80% of developing breast cancer over your lifetime. It was quite high. And ovarian cancer was about, I think about 30% chance of ovarian cancer. So yeah, you got kind of get all this information, which I was not prepared for at all. But then at the same time, I felt really lucky that actually I'd been given the chance to do something about it, because I didn't have to hear the words, you've got cancer,
Yeah.
because, especially with ovarian cancer, the symptoms, although there are symptoms, it's quite often too late when you've got the symptoms, it's normally, so yeah, it was all a bit of a bomb moment. But then you feel guilty because you're talking to a genetic counsellor and she's referring you to surgeons, and you think, but I'm going to be taking out healthy parts of my body. I haven't got cancer. And when you're trying to explain that to other people, I'm going to have a mastectomy, they're like, why are you doing it? Or, oh, you're getting a free boob job. The amount of times I heard that.
Really?
Oh yeah. You're getting new boobs, which actually, my surgeon has been amazing. I probably have come out with a better body than I went in with. So there is a bit of a perk to it, but it was an horrendous few operations that I had to have and go through. But I knew that with Emma's care, my youngest daughter's care, that I knew that I needed to think about it sooner rather than later. And obviously with the whole army thing as well, we had to try and make sure I could fit in surgeries around tours. And
what for people outside of the military community, you just think, what is this? But when you're in it, you plan your babies, you plan your
Yeah,
life, and obviously now like life-saving surgery is
yeah,
also fit, which
yeah.
is another incredible hurdle that you didn't really need at such a difficult time. Imagine like,
it,
um,
it was that whole like, oh, what what the heck, what else are you going to throw at me, life? Come on, but yeah, I was so lucky to be able to choose and to have it done, really. That's how I kind of see it. I mean, going into surgical menopause at 40 is crap.
yeah.
It's horrible. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. uh, yeah, it is just awful. But then and then you, like I say, you've got the guilt feelings. You feel guilty because you're still healthy. You've had this operation. You've chosen to have this operation, so you kind of want to man up and deal with it. But I'm 3 years post. It was August 17 that I had my ovaries and my tubes out. So that's all done. And then it'll be 3 years in November since I had my mastectomy and my reconstruction. So yeah,
Not a long time period, is it?
no,
And
not really.
as
And it
a
was within a year. From a year of being told I'd got it, I'd had both surgeries done. So
incredible.
it was, yeah,
Incredible. But as you talk, and I'm listening, and so you've gone in there for your daughter's syndrome,
yeah,
absolutely blindsided, and then those odds, those percentages, there's an 80% chance that
yeah,
that would have developed into breast cancer.
yeah,
30 for ovarian. Those are just mind blowing, and yet your first response is, the guilt that you're going to take away.
yeah,
I mean, that shows like how, like, that sense of giving, though,
yeah,
that's where you went to, like, I'm taking away from something here,
yeah,
which is incredible. Most people would just be like, yes, get
yeah,
everything else out, I want to be at the front of that queue, and you
yeah,
have a selfless thought process. But I think from what I know of you, that rings true. Like,
yeah,
when I speak to you and I see the work that you do and how you look after your children so beautifully, like, you're
well,
always fighting other people's like
yeah,
causes, and you're promoting it, and you're a real community individual. So I can see that in you. But I particularly love the fact that you also said you got a second chance. Like,
yeah.
you saw this positive, and was that something you saw from straight away? Was it like thank you, or was it that whole process of how could it be me?
No, well, like I say, it was because it was such, I was completely, blindsided by it. It was just like, what, what the heck? But yeah, it was, and I feel obviously life is tricky with the little one and her condition, but it's almost as if, I'm not in a whole greater good thing, but through her, obviously, I found that out. So yeah, I don't know. It was very much like, I have been given that chance. Let's take it and get on with it, and yeah,
Make the best.
make the best of it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So once you'd had all of your surgeries, like you just said, like surgical menopause as well, that must have been a kicker
yeah.
after all of that. How do you get through the everyday? What are your tactics? Do you feel that you're massively impacted day to day, mentally? Because as I said, when I see you, you're always positive, upbeat, you're always smiling, and you're always really forward focused.
Yeah.
Is that a natural disposition, or do you have to work at that?
It's a bit of both, really. I do, some mornings are rubbish and you get up and you think, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, do life, really. But I always try and give myself that bit of a pep talk in the morning of, get up, get going kind of thing. Not that you should not say how you're feeling, but I think it helps if you try and get up with that positive mindset, be thankful for what you have got, and just try and crack on with the day. Yeah. Obviously, some days aren't like that, and some days are much harder than others, but yeah, just
on the hard days, what is your self-care? Is it just like
for me now, I'd say which is probably completely random, it is reading. I love to just get myself stuck into a book an easy read, because I'm not really much into an in-depth read anymore, because I haven't got the time to concentrate. But yeah, just reading would be my thing, would be, you know, that would be my go-to, just escape real life for a little while. Yeah, I don't have to leave the house. I can just, you know, be safe in my little bubble and you know, and read.
Yeah, which distraction is sometimes very, very necessary.
Yeah.
So now that all the surgeries have been performed, should that be completely it then? There's no way anything can come, like, develop?
Yeah, no, so there's always a risk. So it's called risk reduced in surgery. So there could always be cells that are left behind. I mean, obviously they try and take everything out, but there could be tissue left. I decided to have my nipples removed as well, which some people like to keep, but I just thought, if I'm going through that epic surgery, I'm gonna take, you know, any risk away that I possibly can. So yeah, so hopefully, I mean, I still need to check, and but I won't be eligible obviously for mammogram anymore, because I don't have any breast, you know, any breast tissue as such. Yeah, so it's just all checking, but you do get put on the 2-week pathway. So if I was to find anything that might be considered, you know, abnormal, I'd be straight. Yeah, which happened, I think, about 9 months after my surgery. I developed a bit of a lump on one side, but they actually think it's because I got reconstructed mine from tummy fat. It's absolutely epic operation, but you lose obviously sensation, and I think it was just when my brother had been poking me, and it just caused a bit of a lump. Yeah, because you don't have any sensation really, so you have to be quite careful with what, you know, when you're leaning down or anything like that.
You don't burn yourself.
Yeah, one lady actually has, one of the groups I'm on, she's only got one boob now, because she literally set fire to a boob and didn't realise. Yeah, she leant over, because she couldn't feel it. She only knew when she smelt it.
Wow.
But too much damage. Sorry, that's a bit off on a tangent there.
Incredible, isn't it? And it just shows, like, not only do you go through all of that, but then there's all of the little bits that you wouldn't think of that alter life.
Yeah.
Well, as you're going forward, how do you think that, as a mother, how do you think what you have gone through has changed the way that you parent and the way that you are within the family? Do you think it has, or do you think,
I don't know. I think it made everybody stop and realise how much I do. Which was probably a good thing. They've probably forgotten now, though, because it's 3 years. Mum does everything again now. I just think it gave me, not a purpose, but like I say, it gave you that almost that second chance, and you're a bit more grateful for having that information, you know, and being able to do something about it. So it's probably made me more. It sounds a bit soppy. Remember who I was, you know, and it's crazy that, you know, I went through hours and hours of surgery to come out remembering who I am.
Well, what a gift, you know, within what I can only imagine is just the most harrowing of experiences.
Sorry.
Doctor was barking. It's okay. Like, you know, the most harrowing of experiences. Like, you found yourself.
Yeah.
That is beautiful, and that is, you know,
and accepted myself as well. I think I don't know, you kind of lose yourself, don't you, with being a mum and a wife, and it kind of made me, like I say, find myself again and accept who I am, and you know, it was something quite crazy turned into probably a really good experience.
It's a beautiful way of thinking about it. You know, the darkest of days, you know, we can always find something within it. Amazing. Thank you so much. I could sit and literally talk. There's so many things I want to ask you about, like, just how you do it with such good grace, and you keep going, and it's so nice to hear. Not so nice, but you are a normal person. You do have those down days, you do have those darker days, but you just keep chipping forwards, keep going. And it's just, again, another example of what we see, this, you know, really driven woman who's just absolutely unflappable and doing everything, and then actually you've had these life events, and, you know, they built you as well. So
Massively, yeah.
it's remarkable. I really appreciate you taking the time
Thank you.
to speak to me, and hopefully you'll come on and talk to me again in the future, and we can have a discussion about like your daughter's condition as well, because I know
Yeah.
that you're so passionate about
Yeah.
spreading
Probably
knowledge
a
about
bit too
that.
much sometimes, yeah.
Oh no, so you're fighting a good fight. So it would be great to have you back to actually
Yeah.
discuss that. But I suppose with what you kind of went through and the fact that you found out about your condition so late on, this is the one where we can now vaccinate as teenagers. We can stop this in its tracks, yes?
That's what to call it? Cervix cancer, I think. Not yeah. Yeah, no, ovarian cancer, yeah. So there is a lot of awareness that's, you know, being raised, and there's a couple of really good charities that sort of help with awareness raising for it. But yeah, it is a bit of a silent killer, the ovarian one.
Yeah, wow. At least thank goodness
Yeah.
actually found out. Well, thank you so much for taking
right.
the time to speak to us. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I shall speak to you soon.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.